Hello, this is Sam Robinson, lead level designer at Curve. Today I'm going to talk to you about Stealth Inc. 2, a game of clones, our new stealth puzzle platform game which arrives on all formats from April the 7th. The biggest and most obvious difference about this standalone sequel is that it's a Metroidvania game. It's a huge exploratory world. As you explore and uncover new areas of this exploratory world, you'll advance the game's story. So Stealth Inc. 2 takes place in PTI Resolutions, a massive toy testing facility, but the way that PTI goes about testing these toys is incredibly dangerous, so they have to create these clones, these expendable clones, to carry out the tests. So the game sees you begin as one of these clones born into this enormous testing facility. Towards the beginning of the game, we see you escape from these test chambers and you break out into the larger testing facility. So this is a large, seamless, exploratory world which is full of all new areas which we haven't seen before. And these new areas come with all new security systems, so you've got cameras and alarm dogs and lasers and crushing walls. So the testing facility becomes the backdrop for our stealth and platform gameplay. So not only do we have this large exploratory world to discover, you also have the test chamber gameplay from Stealth Inc. 1. This time around, the test chamber entrances are hidden around the entire facility and you have to go out and find them yourself. When you enter these test chambers, you'll find that there are fellow clones trapped inside, and you can help these clones escape into the exploratory world by helping them get to the exit of the test chamber. As you progress further through the exploratory world, you'll find and unlock these gadgets. And these gadgets give the player powerful new abilities to not only progress further through the game, but also to go back and revisit areas that they didn't fully explore before. The exploratory world of PTI is split into 6 areas, each dedicated to testing a specific toy. So the beginning of the game sees you testing the stealth goggles. Now this is the basic stealth mechanic carried over from the previous game. If you stand in the light, your goggles go red and you can be seen. If you stand in the dark, your goggles go green and no one can see you, you're invisible. So this is obviously pretty useful throughout the whole game. But once we move out of Area 1, we start discovering the tests that are testing other toys. And the first one we want to talk about is the Inflatomate. So the Inflatomate is a furry inflatable friend. Many of the toys you discover in the game control in the same way. So with this you can aim with the analog stick, you can throw with the right trigger, you can retrieve it with the right trigger as well, and then you use the left trigger to activate it. So with this one you can throw it around and then inflate it. And this has more uses than you'd imagine. I can create shadows now by blocking lights. I can climb up to areas that I couldn't reach before because of the added height. I can throw this on top of an enemy and kill it, so I'm really turning the tables on the enemies of PTI now. But these are just some of the more primitive uses. I can use this as a springboard now to jump really high. If I call my Inflatomate back to me in mid-air, I can then activate it again, so I can effectively fly around now. So once I complete all the test chambers that focus on the Inflatomate, I actually unlock this gadget and I can take it out into the exploratory world, and then by using this gadget you'll be able to explore and discover the next area, where you'll find a whole new set of test chambers dedicated to testing a new toy. So this is a really cool tiered learning process where you're learning about the gadgets in the test chambers and then you're going out into the exploratory world and using those skills and that gadget to advance to the next area. So now we're entering the third area of the game, which is the robot factory, and here you'll find a whole new set of chambers which will be testing the Jack Boy. The Jack Boy allows you to do stealth attacks on enemies, so you can sneak up behind a robot and then jack it and you'll take it over. So you now have complete control of this enemy and all of its abilities. So now I have 2 characters to control on screen, and the robot has obviously completely different abilities to my clone player. So this toy brings a whole new dimension to these test chambers, and it also gives you a very powerful ability to deal with enemies which you didn't have before. One of my favourite things about working on this game is that all the game objects interact with each other. So creating a puzzle or creating a level or an environment with things for the player to discover is really easy to do. So when you get these gadgets, it gives you the opportunity to go out and mess with those mechanics and experiment and see how to use the game objects and the world to your advantage. So if you get bored of exploring the world or completing test chambers or rescuing clones or unlocking gadgets, you can also make your own test chambers with the level editor, and then you can share your levels online with other people and you can all download and rate each other's levels. And that's about all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stealth Inc. 2 is out on all formats from April the 7th. I'd like to thank you for watching and take it easy. Goodbye.